Hey everyone, this is J-Dog, and I'm here with another video. Now, we all know who this is, but for those who don't, this is actor and current co-host of the show, The View. This is Whoopi Goldberg. She's part of that panel of women in the show, The View. She was a former stand-up comedian and actor. She has been suspended from the show, The View, which is on ABC, after her comments on the Holocaust. That pissed off a lot of people, including those within Hall J, the Jewish community. But here's the thing, what she said, there is truth to it. And she wasn't trying to be mean to the Jewish people, to Hall J, to the Jewish people. But of course you have some of the anti-black racists within that community that used the opportunity to attack her by saying that she was anti-Semitic and stuff like that. Here's what she said. First of all, it revolved around a book called Mouse, which talked about the Holocaust and what Hitler is doing. And some school districts, because as part of their fight against critical race theory, is now trying to get rid of anything that teaches about the violence done to Jews by anti-Jew white Christians or any other religious beliefs that is not Jewish. You should know that Judaism, I think that's the religion of the Jewish people, is a religious practice, which means there's nothing about race. It's a religious practice. It's a religious group. It is not a racial group. And that's what Whoopi Goldberg pointed out. The book was mainly about the inhumane actions of white supremacy, and that it was not always black people that was the victims of it. There was even people within white society. Because as you know, a lot of these hate groups and the Hitler and all of them and a lot of these hate groups, notice that majority of these white hate groups that are mostly run by white folk, when it comes to religious practice, most of them, surprisingly, are the Christian faith. Well, that is because in Europe and here in America, Christian is the dominant religion. Alright? The only other people that are anti-Jew are those not affiliated with any any religious group, and Satanists and stuff like that. But even the Klan were heavily devoted to Christianity. So, they believed that the Christian faith was the dominant faith for white supremacy. And that was why Jews and other religious groups were targeted just as much, maybe not more, but just enough as how blacks were also targeted. And Whoopi Goldberg was just only pointing out that what the Nazis did was inhumane. But she was right. It was not about race, because this was a white versus white situation. Germany is when it comes to racial backgrounds of the people of Germany, majority of the country of Germany was white. But it had at least two racial groups. 3 in the case of any atheists or anyone that had no religious belief. But the two main ones were Christians and Jews. And some of the Christians within the Nazi regime wanted that only Christians should be the only faith being taught in white supremacy. So other religious groups had to suffer just like their other targets, like the black folk. So that's why they started attacking other religious groups or people with no religious groups including the Jews, which led to the infamous holocaust that happened during all World War II. While the Germans were fighting us and the British and the Russians and certain other battlefields, the Jews had to fight a harsher battlefield of genocide by being thrown into camps. Few of them had to escape, and some of them formed coalitions to fight back until the Allied troops arrived to rescue them. I'm not talking about the book. I'm talking about what was happening with the Jews. And that's what Whoopi Goldberg was pointing out. That it was not about race. It was about a religious group being massacred, not a racial group. But the reason why some the anti-black Jews, or anyone that just wanted to attack Whoopi Goldberg were mad, was because the real reason why they were mad is because white racists don't want to point out that World Wars I and II and the Civil War was white-on-white violence. Even the Holocaust was white-on-white violence. White people being slaughtered because they had a different religious background than this white group. That's what's also happened with the Italians, the Irish, when they were coming over here. Those who were descendants of Britain and stuff like that did not want those guys. Didn't like those guys. They were the black folk of the white community until they decided to go after the real black folk and just unite out of the plight of whiteness. See, that's the thing is, these groups are now working together in the plight of whiteness. But they know that the anti-black Jews who are anti-Whoopi Goldberg now knew, because Whoopi Goldberg never really talked trash about the Jews, still didn't. But some of those in the group believe that what Whoopi Goldberg's saying, not only did they accuse it of being anti-Semitic, but that was going to, some groups want to be the victim. Alright, some people within that religious group get special benefits for being a protected class and being a undermined class. In other words, a minority. Jews want to be seen as a minority, just like the black folk are seen, and so they can get some of the benefits. But they don't want to end up in the same situation as black folk. And some of them also hate black folk. I'm talking about the Jewish people, the ones that were attacking Whoopi Goldberg. Plus the racist whites, those who are anti-black and are white, don't want to expose the fact that white-on-white crime happened in World War II. But they want to talk about black-on-black crime. Well, World War II and the Holocaust was an example of white-on-white crime, and racist white folk don't want to point it out. Not just the Nazis, but there's even white Jewish people that don't want to point out because they want to be in the system of whiteness when it benefits them, but they also want to benefit being a minority group, being a non-white minority group, even though they're white. And Whoopi Goldberg didn't really say anything to insult the Jews. They just found an excuse to attack her. And that's what happened. Now they suspended her for 2 weeks. But now there's also reports saying that there's a possibility, allegedly, just allegedly, she could be quitting once her contract is expired, or just quit right now. Or wait till her contract expires and she won't resign and she'll just leave. That is what allegedly is being talked about. Allegedly. I mean, I would quit too if I was Whoopi Goldberg, because I have my issues with Whoopi Goldberg, but at this point, I had to agree with her. because there's white Jews. And it was mostly white Jews that were being killed in the Holocaust. I mean, there was probably some non-white Jews being killed in the Holocaust. But Germany is most of the country of Germany was white folk. And most of the European countries that they were invading were mostly white folk. They didn't have that many racial groups of immigrants and stuff like that. And like I said before, the Jewish faith is not a racial group; it's a religious belief. And Whoopi Goldberg was just pointing out the evils of the Nazis, and that's why she really got attacked. She spooked a lot of anti-black racists. Now, I do have some of my issues with Whoopi Goldberg, like I said earlier. There were some things that she done that black people did not like. But right is right, wrong is wrong. Whoopi Goldberg should not have been suspended and should not have to apologize. But we know what time it is. We know what system we live in, and we know what system that shows like The View follow. And like I said, if that was me, yeah, I would quit. I would find a way to try to get out of my contract and just bounce. But yep, Whoopi Goldberg will now be suspended for a couple of weeks. Let's see what happens then. But I want to know what y'all think in the comment section. Write down in the comment section what y'all think. Make sure you hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and hit that notification bell. That's all I have to say about this situation. This is J-Dog. Thank you for watching, and I hope to catch y'all in another video. Peace, everyone.